Hey, good morning out there. Courtney here with Knowledge Well Media. It is Monday. It is March the 30th. Can you believe it? Time is just flying by with all the events and things happening around the world, around the states, and in my neck of the woods, and I'm sure yours. How we're kind of cordoned off and quarantined off in our respective houses, and just trying to do our best to survive each day. I mean, we're not really in a survival situation yet, but just got word yesterday that Trump is going to extend this quarantine, or whatever you would call it, whatever term you would use, for an additional 30 days. I just heard that yesterday, being Sunday, the 29th of March. So, yeah, wasn't real excited to hear that. I mean, everybody's bursting at the seams to get back to some sort of normalcy, but looks like there's really no light at the end of the tunnel yet. I particularly think it's going to be much longer than 30 days out, but we shall see. Don't want to dash your hopes, but do want to stay realistic with the expectations. But like I said, excuse me. Yeah, March the 30th, 2020, Monday, and I wanted to get this one out early. Try and start early. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that button down below there so that you can get notifications. That bell down there, you might have to hit it a couple times so that you can get notification each time I post a new video. Yesterday, being Sunday the 29th, as I stated before, we had a Zoom meeting. I've put out messages to you. I've done some recordings outlining that I was going to try and get that going for people that wanted to have face-to-face meetings or have conversations, discussions, or perhaps you had some questions that you have that maybe I can help you with, or we can do some research, or I can do some research and then present to you out there in YouTube land. However, I only had maybe a handful of people, literally. I think I had like four, possibly five people that tuned in. I definitely want to hear, from more of you out there, and definitely would like to meet with you and hear some of the questions that you might have, or some of the comments that you may want to make, whether adverse to our position, or pro our position, with our position. But either way, we have to stick together as a community, and the only way we're going to do that, in spite of the fact that they have this what is it called, distancing from each other, is through this platform, or these platforms that we have available to us. We got to use it. Some people are saying, well, why would I use it if they're monitoring everything that we do? I think they've been monitoring for 50 years. Okay. So, but the people, we still have to find a way. Okay. We have to persevere through every situation, because the only alternative is to just completely lay down and let them roll right over us, right? Them being whoever they are. Okay. So just wanted to touch base with you a little bit today. I'm not going to be before you long, hopefully. Wanted to kind of discuss who we are. Okay. And I think that we've lost our identity. And when a people, or a person, or an individual loses their identity, it has negative ramifications, and it affects your behavior. It affects your self-esteem. Okay. And it definitely affects other people around you who may care about you, who want to see you at your best. All right. But more importantly, it affects you. Okay. If you don't know who you are, where you come from, then you're ineffective out here in the community. And I have this, I want to call it a memorandum that I've written up. Okay. And I'd spent maybe 3 or 4 days on it, maybe about 48 hours total on it. Okay. Most of you know, I do study law on the side. I am by no means an attorney. I don't aspire to be. I definitely don't want to join any bar membership or anything like that. But I do enjoy studying law, especially contract law, constitutional law, common law type. Um, so with that being said, I have put together this memorandum, okay? And it's dealing with, if you can see the top there, it might be mirrored for you, individual capacity versus representative capacity. I will make this available for a donation, of course, because I did put my time and sweat into it. And I'll outline a little bit of it here. I have Supreme Court rulings in here and other case law. I used legal authorities such as Black's Law Dictionary for defining certain terms that are key terms. I also used etymology, Edym online, as in etymology online, to define definitions that are key to the position that I'm presenting. What else did I use? I used a book called Commercial Transactions, a Systems Approach, 5th edition by Ed Wolters Kluwer from 2012. My point is that I'm using some bona fide material or sources. Now, as I stated, it's for a donation. Okay, it is important that we understand this information and what it has to do with. Like I said, is individual capacity versus representative capacity. We need to understand that the states and the government have actually bifurcated titles in pertains to you. Okay, you may have heard about the birth certificate theory, which is not necessarily a theory. Okay, but you need to understand that there's a difference between your representative capacity and your individual capacity, okay? And that, as this case says, this is a Supreme Court case, it says courts have held that a person's individual, this I'm quoting, and representative capacities are not substantially identical. And it has a case in here. Where is it at here? Let's see. This is Stilches versus Ridco, exterminating. And this is a case from 1990. All right. And, to summarize, basically what it's letting you know is an individual is not authorized by another. So an individual acts on its own behalf. It does not represent or act for another under a contract, okay? Is not a business representative acting between principals and third persons. It's not acting on another's behalf, okay? It acts on one's own behalf, or there's a legal term called sui juris, of one's own right, okay? I don't want to give it all away, but you do need to understand this information. Here, the definition from Black's Law, 5th edition. Listen, capacity, legal qualification, competency, power or fitness, ability to understand the nature and effects of one's acts, okay? So that's what a capacity is. It's your level of competency, okay? And a lot of times when you go into court, the judge will order a competency evaluation to determine if you're competent to stand trial. Because the way that they look at it is that you're unlearned, okay? You don't know who you are. If you had the chance to check out my video on YouTube here, you really need to. It's called The Minor Issue. Go back and take some time to look at that video. That's going to put you right online, and then you will fully understand this information here and other information that's very pertinent. What has happened, and this is my contention, that they have stolen, they being the upper echelon, the elite, whatever you want to call them, the Illuminati, the government, all of those so-called authorities. Okay? Essentially, you are trading places with something that they've established, a representative capacity. If you look up the definition of citizen, you can clearly see. Let's take a look at it real fast before I let you go. What is a citizen? See, we were never taught to really look up these words and understand that there is a different terminology. There's a different definition than what you were taught in your grade schools and things like that. There's legalese and then there's English. Two different languages. Here's the definition of citizen. Think about these words here. Don't just let them go in one ear and out the other. A citizen, one who, under the Constitution and laws of the United States, let me stop right there. Let me pause right there. The United States, look up United States Code 28, Section 3002, and there you will learn who or what the United States really is. All right, so reading on. A citizen is one who, under the Constitution and laws of the United States or of a particular state, is a member of the political community. How do you become a member of something? That's voluntary, right? You sign up, you apply to become a member. Look up the definition of member. Okay, so a member of the political community. What kind of community? A political. Did you know you were a member of a political community? All right. Are you a politician? Anyways, listen. Owing allegiance. That means you're obligated. You have a duty to. That means there's a contract involved. Whenever there's an obligation owed, that's because two parties have entered into a contract. Got it? And it's binding legally. All right? So owing allegiance and being entitled to the enjoyment of full civil rights. It doesn't say natural rights. It doesn't say constitutional rights. It doesn't say absolute vested rights. It says civil rights. And it doesn't mean civil as in this from the stance of Martin Luther King and the Million Man March type of civil. You have to look up what the word civil means. It comes from the Roman law and under civilis or civitas. You have to look these things up. If you don't, you can be fooled. And if you can be fooled by information that is freely out there for you to get or have or to ascertain, that means you fit the definition of legally incompetent. That means you are not able to handle your own affairs. You are considered a minor and an infant. It has nothing to do with your age. You got to go check out that video. The minor issue. I go deep into detail and break down what in law or the legal system what is meant by minor or infant, okay? So go check it out. It's called the minor issue, down below somewhere. All right, so remember, you're becoming a member. A citizen is a member of the political community owing allegiance. Remember this? I pledge allegiance to the flag. Okay, you're pledging an oath as a politician or a political community member. See, you don't know who you are. If you knew who you were or who you are, then you would be able to be legally competent and be able to stand on your own behalf, sui juris, okay? And you would stand on your own as an individual versus a member of a political community. Under someone else's authority, you're acting, okay? But remember, when you're a citizen, you owe an allegiance under contract. And because you owe an allegiance, here's the contract, here's the exchange of value, because a contract has to have value for value, or what's known as quid pro quo. This for that. Look it, because you owe an allegiance, now it says, and being entitled to the enjoyment of full civil rights. Now that you owe an allegiance, what the state, what the government's going to give you in exchange is they will entitle you to the enjoyment of full civil rights. No, I'd rather have my natural absolute rights. But anyways, that and much more in this, just for a donation. I'm not going to specify any kind of an amount. I just spent a lot of time on putting this together. So if you want it, go ahead and message me down below, or you can send it to knowledgewell4u, the number 4, the letter U, at gmail.com. Okay, you need to get this. It's a short read, but pound for pound, man, it's got a lot of stuff in there for you so that you can understand. Yeah, so either the Gmail there or just comment down below, and then we'll set up messaging or something like that. But I want you to pay attention because I'll be posting, the meeting went really well yesterday and on Zoom. And so if you want to get involved in that, we have great discussions, great people, okay? Then just go ahead and message me down below or something like that. Make a comment and I'll find a way to get to you, or hit me up at that knowledgewell, the number 4, the letter U, at gmail.com. All right. And then we'll get you set up and everything like that. But anyways, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that button down below so that when I post a new video that you get a notification each time I do. All right. Remember, KnowledgeWell. All right. This is where we provide that platform with lots of data, and you just disseminate through it, and then you pick what's applicable to you and your family. All right. Okay. So because informed conclusions are drawn here at KnowledgeWell. All right, so thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. Hey, find a new hobby or something like that. It's going to be a while, all right? All right, Courtney signing out from KnowledgeWell Media.